It's Monday. These are all the moves that I've got. I'm just like antsy, ready to get going. Brandon's shaking his head at me already, and we literally just started. It is September 16th. Thanks for tuning in for our little update here. Go ahead and comment and ask questions about the stories that we go through here today, because we're going to circle back to those and get them answered for you if we can. We're also going to check in with Erica in just a moment. But first, the top story that you guys are clicking on locally here is this drive-in movie theater shooting up in Hockley. Did you hear about this? So 2 women managers were closing up shop last night about 2:30. Well, I guess it's this morning. And they spot some activity in the office. So they go over there and confront 2 guys who are in the office trying to burglarize it. And one of the guys has a bat, comes at one of the women, hits her in the hand, in the shoulder. She grabs her gun, shoots him, kills him. The other guy takes off, and Harris County deputies are still looking for him. But yeah, a woman turned the tables on a would-be robber. So this is definitely a developing story. We'll have an update on KHOU 11 News at noon, and I'm sure we'll have a reporter on this for later this afternoon as well if you want to stay tuned. Next up, huge changes in the forecast, not the hot, dry weather we had yesterday. Let's check in with Erica because she's got the latest for us.
Yeah, we're talking about lots of rain that's headed our way. Check this out. Activity out in the Gulf of Mexico. This is a tropical disturbance. Now, at the time, at this moment, it has a slim 10% chance of development, so it is likely not to develop. But regardless of development, which is why we always say it doesn't matter if it's a named storm, if it's just a disturbance, it's going to bring in lots of rain. Okay, so sorry, let me put my IFB back on here. So here's what's going on right now. We have already some coastal storms moving in, heavy rain just off the coast of Texas right now, likely hearing some rumbles of thunder out in Freeport. Those are storms off on the coast at the moment, but that's going to slowly filter in. So we'll be monitoring that very, very closely as we head through the rest of today. So here's how the next 3 days are going to play out. It's a slow moving disturbance, guys. So today, a 30% chance of rain. It's sunny out there this morning. Enjoy the sunshine while you can, because it's going to get cloudy. It'll get wet. We'll have on and off scattered showers mainly on Tuesday. Heavier rain will start to filter in by late Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday into Thursday will be our wettest periods throughout this upcoming week. So we're kind of in the long haul for a lot of activity headed our way. Obviously, we need the rain. It's been a very dry summer, so a lot of us are actually below average with rainfall accumulation or officially in a moderate drought. So here's a look at what we're expecting through the end of the work week. Because of this disturbance moving in, I do expect isolated areas to pick up at least half a foot of rain. But I'm talking isolated areas embedded within that region, picking up even more. The possibility of 8 to 10 inches is something that we can't rule out by Friday. So I'm not saying we're gonna get it all at once. This will be spread out over a long duration, over about 5 days. But still, because of the fact that we've been so dry, we could use a lot of this rain, although in those areas where we get too much too quick, it could spark up some flash flooding concerns. So that's going to be a possibility, I would say, by at least Wednesday of this week. Here's a look at how it's all going to play on future tracks. So 30% chance of rain today. Notice most of the activity will still be out in the coast for Monday. But then as we fast forward to Tuesday, showers and storms are going to be more widespread. So as we head into Tuesday morning, expect your morning commute to possibly be messy, but the latter portion of the day, it will get busier and stormier, and we're talking widespread showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. So just put the umbrellas in your vehicle today, keep them with you throughout this week. It's going to be a week you're likely going to need it daily. Okay, fast forwarding to Wednesday, still heavy rain ongoing. Again, this disturbance will slowly be pushing inland, and it's going to hang around through about Friday until it starts to fizzle out just in time for the weekend. So I talked about our drought concerns. Guys, it's been a long summer, and this drought monitor has steadily increased every single week this summer. Now, for the Houston area, we officially are a moderate drought. That's these tan shaded colors, including Sealy, including Sugarland, including Liberty. Yellow shaded colors, that's abnormally dry. Regardless, we all need the rain. So we're excited for the rain. We're just hoping that we can get through the possibility of not having any major flash flooding concerns. On top of that disturbance, the tropics is still active. Hurricane Umberto still ongoing at the moment, a Category 1 hurricane, 80% chance of development with the system off the coast of Africa. That's still quite far away, but the latest forecast cone for Hurricane Umberto, we are expecting it to strengthen. The good news is that it's mainly a fish storm, although Bermuda is in the cone of uncertainty. At the moment, it's still too far out to tell if there will be any direct impacts, but that's something we'll monitor very, very closely as we fast forward through the rest of this week. Okay, quick look at the 7-day forecast. So for us, it's the rain. Make sure you have the KHOU app downloaded on your phone so you can track radar with us. Make sure you're remembering to turn around, don't drown, no matter how this scenario plays out. Again, lots of folks are going to pick up to half a foot of rain by the end of this week, and we're talking isolated areas even more. But the best part, in my opinion, temperatures highs in the 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. Not a bad deal for this week. And then we'll talk about tapering off those rain chances, but still keeping relatively coolish temperatures throughout the rest of this summer. Brandy?
Hello. Sorry, as I'm checking my phone and reading through the Twitter feed, definitely a forecast to keep our eye on there. So we'll have another weather update coming up in the 2:15 update, so you can check back then and see if anything changes or what you can expect in the days ahead. Up next, I'm like kind of in mourning this morning. I don't know how many of you are as well, because I woke up to the news that Ric Ocasek passed away. The lead singer of the Cars, the frontman of the Cars, wrote a lot of their songs. He had that incredible voice, that shaggy hair. I mean, very recognizable dude, because he was kind of weird looking, but made great music. I grew up listening to the Cars, so I used to pick blueberries during the summer. And I had my Walkman, and it was the only tape I had was Heartbeat City, that album. So I listened to it. Why is Brandon's laughing at me right now?
You grew up in a 1970s music video, apparently.
But it was so good. And then, like, you know, their self-titled album and Candy-O and everything that came after. Like, I've just been listening to the Cars over and over again this morning. So I was curious, this is the question I posed on Twitter as well, but what album or albums for you were like really game changers and that you may have listened to on repeat when you were growing up? Because like I had a tape of David Bowie on one side and Neil Young on the other. That was great. But yeah, back when I had my Walkman, not a Discman yet, it was a Walkman, and it did the job. So leave your comments there. And finally, we're gonna wrap it up with a reminder of how much impact a single act of kindness can have. This is coming from Alvin ISD. So this photo, at first you're like, what is going on, right? Well, that little girl huddled there under the blanket is Kenley, who is a 4th grader at Passmore Elementary. She's just having a real rough day, and she lay down on the ground, and that's Mrs. Esther, one of the custodians, who laid down with her and just held her and helped her get through that. I think a really powerful message about how important every person in a school is. We remember our teachers a lot of times and the impact that they had on us and the messages that they shared with us. But I can think back to custodians and office staff who were just kind and who went out of their way to be kind. So this story is getting a lot of attention. You can read more about it and kind of reaction in my story this morning on khou.com if you are so interested. All right, comment and question time, Brandon. Your favorite.
Woo! All right, just want to say good morning to a couple of our viewers this morning. Itzel and Zoila, good morning to you. Eddie and Alvin, top of the morning to you, Alvin.
Top of the morning.
Yeah.
I feel like I should do a tip of the hat.
Yeah. We got a couple of responses to our question about game changers. Itzel says, I love Queen. Queen was a big thing for her.
Yes.
Ram says, 80s music in general. Agree with you there. Rosie, Fleetwood Mac.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. And then Sue, Billy Joel's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2.
Isn't it funny? I think it depends too on the age of your parents. I had teen parents. So there's only 17 years between me and my mom. So the music that she was listening to as a teenager is what I grew up on. So Bon Jovi, Neil Young to be sure, Foreigner, Def Leppard, her favorite song of all time is Photograph. And then my dad was over there with like Kiss and Styx and The Who and Led Zeppelin. So that's all I heard growing up. And then I would just steal their CDs once CDs started to come out. But yeah, it was good. It was a good era. I will never forget. I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm sorry. Because I'm going to get Brandon's answer here in a second. I'm going to give him time to think about the stuff he listened to. But my parents got that Sounds of the 70s like compilation where it's like 6 discs from like Columbia House or wherever you got it at the time, where they ordered it off TV. And I remembered I'd always listen to Werewolves of London because it's such a good song. It's really weird and it's so good. And one of the proudest moments I think my dad ever had involving me was we were driving home. He picked me up from high school. I lived 25 miles out of town and we were just pulling into my grandpa's winery. And Werewolves of London came on. And I was like singing along. I knew every word. And it stops and he turns off, it's this red Mazda pickup. He turns it off and just kind of looks at me in awe. He's like, how did you know all the words? And he said it with such pride. I was like, yeah, Dad, I did that for you. We bonded over classic rock. Of course, it wasn't classic then. It is now. All right, Brandon, what did you listen to?
So I grew up every day on the way to school being forced to listen to Rush every day.
Oh.
From the age of 4 until 16 when I started driving myself. So I still to this day, if a Rush song comes on, air drums, air guitar, anything I can do.
Because you know it all.
I know every single word, yeah.
I want to say my dad was into them too, but I'm not entirely. He was very big on the 4-letter Kiss, Styx, Rush. Like if it had 4 letters, that was his band.
My dad is a hardcore. My middle name is Alex, and I'm named for the guitarist in Rush. And he has been to every live event they've had in Texas.
And who's the drummer? Neil
Peart.
Peart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, we're learning. We're learning about each other today. Are there any other comments or questions?
I think that's it today. People are leaving us with some pretty good band names. One more. Terry says Beach Boys and the Beatles.
Classics, to be sure. Although classics I didn't discover until way later because my parents didn't listen to them. I've rectified that for my kids. They are very familiar. Okay, we will wrap it up. As I mentioned before, there will be another update at 2:15 with your headlines as well as a forecast, so tune in for that. Otherwise, I'm off tomorrow. I have jury duty, but Brandon will be here. Have a good day.